path of the martial artist. So it took me a long time to kind of understand why I started really training martial arts. I started training martial arts to grow up. That's why I began training the martial arts. And I didn't know that at the time, at least not consciously. I didn't understand that growing up was what I really wanted. I knew that I wanted to be able to take care of myself. I knew I wanted to try and be the best human being that I could possibly be, learn to take responsibility for my actions and make good decisions. These are the things that I knew I wanted, which now I would say is growing up. But I wouldn't have said that, the seeking maturity was what I was up to. But that's why I began studying the martial arts. I guise that as lots of different things. How can I, better defend myself? When I was younger, how can I better win fights? And as I got older, other ideas started to come in. But really, the truth is, I wanted to grow up. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to learn how to grow up. And I remember one of my first serious martial arts instructors outlined a really simple path for me that I still believe is really a nice way to look at this journey, which is the first stage of a martial artist is the fighter, the second stage is the soldier, the third stage is the warrior, and the fourth stage is the poet. And then I remember after he told me that, and I always was figuring out some way to kick someone's ass. That's what I always wanted to do in the beginning is, how do I fight better? How do I fight better? That's what I wanted. And I remember him telling me after he told me that path, he said, from the perspective of the fighter, the poet doesn't look very interesting. But from the perspective of the warrior, it's the main goal, right? And I've really come to appreciate that as time's gone on and try to become more and more the poet as I venture on, right? So what are these four stages and why are they important? The fighter is the first stage in the path of the martial artist. The fighter's job is to fight, is to realize they don't like their position, they don't like where they're at, and to change that position, right? You have the feeling of, I'm a piece of shit, I'm not good enough, I can't get to the things I want to get to, and I want to change that, right? I want to be better than I am. And that's what the fighter does. The fighter tries to change their position. They're willing to have the courage to go forth and take risks and get done what they need to get done to become better. As you become a better and better fighter, you need to seek out an instructor, right? In Japanese mythology, the sensei, someone who came before you, who knows the things that you don't know. And then as you find the sensei, you find someone who you think has got some things under control that you don't yet and that you need to learn from, you become the soldier. And the soldier's job is to listen to the sensei, right? The sensei will tell them all kinds of things they don't want to hear about themselves. And they have to be able to follow what the sensei says in order to understand that viewpoint. And so once you get a sensei, your job is just to listen to the sensei. Even if you think the sensei's wrong, because the sensei is going to know a lot of things you don't. You've already admitted that. This guy knows stuff about the world that I don't. So you need to listen to the sensei. After you follow the path of the soldier for a while, your true path will start to become clear. And that's when it's okay to leave the sensei. And if you have a good sensei, they will completely understand that it's time for you to leave them, right? The path of the warrior is when you walk your own path completely. You understand what you're undertaking, and on your own, you're trying to stay in the place you want to be in and enrich your life without having someone tell you what those things are. The warrior is, classically representing someone who is in war. They're in a situation where nothing cares about them. Everything wants to see them destroyed, and in the face of that, they're still able to stay true and do the things they want to do. Also, there's the woodsman. I like the idea of the woodsman, which is the same thing. The woodsman lives out in nature, where nature doesn't care if he falls off a mountain and cracks his neck. There's no one there to help him, so he's got to help himself. So self-reliance, self-control, and the ability to continue to go forth and do the things you want. And if you get to paths where you can't understand what's going on, that you still have the skills of the soldier. You can listen to others and take what they're saying very seriously and actually listen to it as opposed to just doing whatever you want, right? And then as you get better and better on the path of the warrior, you begin to see the path of the poet, right? And the poet is a guy who's able to reflect openly and honestly about the world, all the beauty, all the tragedy. the poet's able to look at that and reflect that back. And so other people, when they see the poet, they see themselves and the truth of themselves being reflected back. The poet generally makes the best sensei, right? The best instructor, because they're not putting their own crap on you. They're simply able to reflect back what you're giving them and help you see what you are. So those are the 4 stages of the martial artist, and they've been kind of pivotal in my life in helping me figure out where I'm at and what I need to do, and see the true path that I'm actually on. So I hope this is useful to some people, and it's the path I've been on, the path of the martial artist. I'm Chris Hein. This is Aikido Fresno. Thank you for watching.